Hey guys, welcome to Comics with Bueller. As always, I'm Bueller. These are old interviews I've done at Comic Cons that were on live streams. They're like 3 or 4 hours long. I've cut them up so you guys can see them individually. There's people like Jim Starlin, Ming Chen from Comic Book Men, Chris Claremont, Emma Kubert, just to name a few. So do me a favor, check them out. They are a little bit dated, but they are a lot of fun, and I look quite a bit different on these videos as well. But there'll be a playlist so you can check them all out. And at the end of this video, a new video will be able to click on to see that interview. So anyways, take your time, watch them, enjoy them, and I'll see you at the end of the video. Hello, Dan. How are you?
Good, thank you. Good. Thanks for inviting me. This is tough. Am I on? Am I not on?
You are on. We're
Okay.
all good right here.
Okay,
And
great.
I first met Dan a couple years ago. We were on a trivia panel together,
Yes.
and I didn't get anything correct. He won. It was a total slaughter.
It was.
I felt like a deer in headlights.
Well, you know what I did is I did one of the trivia panels. It was questions on the movies, and I'm like, I don't watch the movies. So
Yeah.
You got to help me out here. But I do enjoy that stuff.
Yeah.
I have a lot of fun with it.
We actually had a kid from the audience come up, and he joined, just a random kid, and he did really well.
Yeah,
He
yeah.
he killed it. He was like right there with you.
You know what? Can I say something?
Yes.
That's what I always used to complain about at DC and things. Is that I said the kids are really into the movies. They're not reading
Yeah.
the comics the same way. They're really enjoying getting their superhero fix for the movies. So for the comics, you got to find a way to up your ante, up your game in order to get people back and reading the books
There you
instead
go.
of looking to get their superhero fix just from films. You know?
So let me ask you something. Obviously, you're talking about it right now. What are some of the things we can do to get these kids back involved?
You know, it's interesting. I mean, it's an interesting time because I mean, the good news is people haven't stopped reading comics.
Yeah.
The only thing is their interests have changed. I think you've seen a generation or two of kids really start to embrace the anime, the
Yeah.
manga books, and they've really been enjoying that, and they've been getting their superhero reading fix from those projects. So for us, I think we really have to bring a sense of visualization back in the books, bring a high sense of excitement, make the art really come apart and come alive, and make the books visually interesting and exciting, a way to pull people in, buy the artwork, and then have a story that really carries them all the way through. But if we start doing comics that read like textbooks,
Yeah.
you know what I mean, or read like a novel, nothing wrong with that, but that shouldn't be the only flavor. Art is what used to sell comics most, and we got to
Yeah.
put art back in the books themselves.
Nice.
Yeah.
So obviously you guys have started a new, you and Frank Miller have started a new publisher.
It's exactly, yeah.
And what's that like? I mean, that's in today's time, that's not an easy thing to do.
Let me tell you something. It's a bear.
Jesus.
You know what? We started up just as it was funny. The comic business had this little boom
Yes.
during the pandemic. A lot
Yes.
of people were at home. They were spending money. They were buying comics. So we launched just as the boom was coming to an end a little bit because people were getting back into society again. But we're doing this for the fun of us. You know what I mean? There's not anything to prove here. We're doing books that we enjoy. We talked a lot about craft and story, even art, like I was just saying. And we wanted to make books that we felt were the right way to do comics and things that we felt were getting lost in comics. So we're having a blast doing it. It's a lot of work. I mean, it's really Frank and myself and a couple other people doing everything soup to nuts. It's been a learning experience over this first year of coming together. And but we're having some fun with it. We stumbled a little bit with the Ronin book. We had some gap between issues 2 and 3.
Yeah.
But Frank's actually coming on to draw issue 4. And
Nice.
he's actually finished it already. So we got the rest of the book on track. And I feel like we're starting to get our feet on the ground and get a sense of who we are and what we want to be. And we're hoping the next wave of books that we come out with, which is going to be built around the Sin City prequel book that Frank is writing and drawing. Hopefully then we'll get ourselves into a good groove and be here for a while.
Yeah. And your books are available through Diamond, right?
Yes, we are.
They're
Yeah.
in the previews.
They're in the previous catalog. I mean, we get lost because we only have 1 or 2 books a month.
Yeah.
So there's this big catalog, and there's these 2 pages about us. But that's okay.
Yeah.
That's one of the reasons why we're doing shows like this. It's a little more of a grassroots approach because even though it's Frank and myself, you still got to get out there and remind people you're out there.
Yeah, where's Frank?
He's at home drawing, hopefully. I'm hoping he's working.
Yeah, no disrespect. You're a good drawer.
No,
But Frank is kind of,
yeah.
he's on a different level.
Yeah, he doesn't get out as much, but the good part is that he's extraordinarily active on the books. On the Pandora book, he actually meets with Emma Kubert once a month to go over each of the books, how they're going to lay it out and just work through the story. With Ronin, he gives full layouts to Philip Tan. He worked off those. He drew number 4. He's given me some variant covers, and now he's about to slide into Sin City. He wrote a a 22-page Sin City story from Mila Manera, which we'll have out the end of the year, and then he's already starting to do designs and layouts for the Sin City Western, which is fun.
So on your new label, what one book would you recommend for someone brand new coming into it that's just kind of want to get the feel for what they're going to see in the future?
And here's the thing. All books should be created for brand new people. That's what it's for. Even for Ronin, that's a sequel, should feel like it's a book for somebody coming in brand new as well. And it's really now what we're looking at a genre. Like Ronin is our anime, manga, science fiction adventure story. Pandora is a young adult, fantasy book. My book, Ancient Enemies, and the one-shots around that are all built really much more in a superhero vein. And I'm working with an artist, Danila Beirut, who does this brilliant job of just laying out the story. He's a great storyteller. Love working with him. And then I've done a lot of one-shots of the characters that are in that book, so I can tell their origin stories in individual issues. And I've worked with people like Jose Luis and Jim Calafiore, and these guys that I work with at DC. So I've been very lucky to surround myself with people I'm very comfortable with. Yeah. Because when you don't have a big staff, you want to make sure that when you hand things off, you give it to work to people, it's going to be handled well and properly. And I love working with guys that you just enjoy just having an exchange of comics and talking the story with.
Nice. Are you related to Capullo? Because you and him look a lot alike.
You know what? We used to get that joke all the time.
I've had him on the channel.
Yeah.
He was here last year. I hosted his panel.
Yeah.
I was like, you look really familiar.
No. Greg calls me his evil twin.
Yeah.
So we used to take the pictures together. I was the evil twin. My question is, why wasn't he the evil twin? That's what I'm still trying to figure out.
He would more fit the evil twin.
Oh yes, and absolutely.
Both of you guys have a very large personality too. So that's why I asked that question. I mean, you guys. When these two gentlemen are in the room. Let's put you that way.
We still enjoy comics.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's the difference. We're not doing right now. We're not doing it because we think this is this big payday. We're doing it because there's this desire to tell stories.
Yeah.
And this is the medium that we prefer. And me personally, I wrote a book during COVID, so I had a novel come out this year called Hide or Seek. It's out there. It's out there in stores right now. But working on a novel, you're working by yourself. But with this. You work with artists, you work with other people, and I love the collaboration. I mean, if I miss anything, I miss really, working side by side. It's funny, people, some of my friends that are still at DC, they laugh at me. They go, you would have exploded at DC during COVID because the idea of working from home is foreign to me. I need that interaction. I love that creative energy when you put people together in a room and you're working up ideas and you're all getting excited, and it's that constant building that makes just product better, and I think that's what makes comics great, is that real true collaboration between writer and artist. And they talk about the Marvel method of doing an outline and letting the artist open up the storytelling. Frank and I believe in that completely, because my thought is that the writer is thinking very clearly about story, plot, and character and voice, but visualization is really what the artist does, and seeing things and how it works on the page and how it comes alive on the page. You really got to give the artist as much room to really express himself and get that on there. And trust me, if they're off a little bit, you can get them back on track. But sometimes they do things that take you in brand new directions and new ideas that I think just makes the story better and forces you makes you realize how you can improve yourself too. So that's why I love working with great artists like that.
That's awesome. Do you have anyone on your bucket list to come work with your new publication?
Actually, we're looking at new people. That's the kind of fun part. I mean, Frank talks about it. I think I'm comfortable saying it. We talk about craft a lot, and Frank tells a story about how many times he used to go back to try to break into comics, and he'd go into Neil Adams, and Neil Adams just kept on sending him away because he wasn't good enough. And every time he was sent home, he tried to make himself a little bit better, until finally, by the fourth time back, and he came back 4 times, he got turned off 3 times. Neil said he was good enough to make a suggestion, and Neil literally picked up the phone and got Frank a job at somewhere, Marvel or DC, something like that. And I think that's really interesting because it challenged him as an artist. It challenged him to be better, and he was listening to the suggestions of people who have been successful, and so that he can find a way to emulate that same success in his own way. A lot of what we're talking about now is moving that craft on. So when he talks about sitting down with Emma Cupid, he's learning from her and she's learning from him, and it's this wonderful collaborative process. And you should never, regardless of how long you've been doing something or how long you've been in a business, you should never sit idle. You should never just sit back. You should always find a way to challenge yourself, improve yourself, and grow. and there's no time to ever stop growing.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Well, I don't want to take up too much more of your time, Dan. I appreciate you coming on here. You guys, do me a favor. Tell your comic shop to look in the previews book and order.
Yeah, it's the pages. It's two little pages. Sometimes they're stuck together, but don't be deterred. Pull them apart and find Frank Miller Presents.
There you go. And I'm going to be hosting their panel here later today. It's going to be a lot of fun.
We'll have some fun.
And good time. So thank you, Dan.
My
Appreciate
pleasure,
it.
man. Always
And,
great to see
have
you.
a great show.
Okay, I'll see you later
Appreciate
too.
it.
Thanks, guys. Bye.
Hey guys, welcome back. Hope you enjoyed those interviews. I had a lot of fun. Even the ones with Howard Chaykin, you know what? He just is who he is. But do me a favor, check out the playlist. Check out the video that pops up next. It's another interview over the years. And I think you're going to enjoy my time with these creators. So anyway, guys, thank you for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe. And don't forget to live your best life. You know what to do. I'll see you next time. Bye.